Folks, welcome back. My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments. Today, we're going back to a vintage Magic the Gathering conversation, okay? And that is, well, we have completed, well, don't beat me up, folks. Completed a transaction for a bunch of Alpha Drudge skeletons. I just got around to filming this. I'm not going to lie. This transaction was completed around around August of 2023 in the rough summer time when Commander Masters and Playtimes and Lord of the Rings and Lord of the Ring dinglings and everything. Well, sorry, I know this video is probably not going to be filmed or go live now until probably October to November. So I mostly want to talk to everybody about the state of the old Magic the Gathering markets, the vintage markets. Why I'm continuing to buy. This is a common. It's an alpha. These are all alphas, but it's still common. In this collection, it also included some CGC graded cards, and the guy had some actual PSA graded cards. I don't really care. I'm probably going to crack these out of the cases. There's no point in having graded, a played, pretty rough condition played card in a giant CGC case graded 6. There's no benefit of that or anything like that. The 8, I may keep these. The PSA 8 looks very accurately graded and looks quite beautiful. The CGC, the PSA 8 looks great. The CGC 8 looks a lot rougher. But anyways, we'll probably keep these, but the 6s will probably end up breaking. So anyways, I mostly want to discuss this with you all, okay? I don't really want to go into the grading and everything. And obviously now, if you guys, I would really like for everybody to try out Rudy's 69% ownership in Premier Card Grading USA, PCG USA. We don't use pieces of paper, and ours are significantly better quality. And of course, unlike these, we give you detailed subgrades with a really cool automotive RPM, little needle meter going across there, showing your subgrades with a metal label engraved by a laser. Seriously, and just out of curiosity, if anybody's interested, you can use coupon code on Premier Card Grading, TACOS, TACOS, all capital, TACOS, and it'll give you 5% off an order. So if you want to try us out and you send in 20 cards, you'll essentially get a card for free. If you pay for 19, get a 20th card for free kind of thing. So, and again, you can just try one card if you want, but seriously, try us out. The feedback we've been getting here in October in the last few weeks as people gotten their orders back has been off the chart positive. And yeah, it's been a wild experience. And again, we're not grading a lot of Magic. Like I said, only probably 10% of the cards coming in are Magic. Most is everything else is everything from Pokemon to Flesh and Blood to new Disney Lorcana and One Piece and MetaZoo and Yu-Gi-Oh. We're not getting a lot of Magic right now because Magic is known for obviously PSA and Beckett. So okay, that's Rudy Shill. Gotta support and shill for myself and sponsor myself. So, anyways, folks, let's talk about this. First, let's get out the nastiness right out front that nobody wants to hear. I buy these cards because I enjoy them and I want the cards. I understand this is post-Magic 30, and I want you all to understand, if you turn around and pause this video and buy an Alpha Drudge Skeleton or any other Alpha card, I can probably almost guarantee you with a G word that you're probably not going to be able to flip it and make any money at all. I assure you that you will make very little to nothing or lose some money trying to flip it or do anything. The market conditions for post-Magic 30, post-Project Booster Fund, and of course, post-game pieces continue to be very bearish. Most whales, large amount of money, LGSs, people don't want to buy a lot of vintage collections. Many stores aren't even buying vintage, period. Some stores who are buying Magic cards won't even pay cash anymore. Troll and Toad won't even touch Magic. Small LGSs have been annihilated with standard modern Pioneer era Pauper? Is that a thing? Pauper? Single cards. It's been absolutely just wrecked. So again, if you're interested in these, and I assure you 4 or 5 minutes in this video now, as we get later in the video, we'll get a little bit more juicy on our conversation. I assure you, anyone who's still actually watching videos like this in mid-2023, you only watch right now because you truly see what I see, and you have a passion for Magic cards and vintage Magic cards. Because the flippers, the short-term people who were jumping on Rudy's patron in the boom and the views and all the people who were jumping into the card world trying to flip Magics and of course the big Pokemon Sword and Shield boom, trying to flip MetaZoo, flip Flesh and Blood, And now everybody's trying to flip, One Piece and Disney Lorcana, and anyone who was into that, I would say over 90% of those people are long gone. You can look at the views in this video. I expect the views on this video to be very low. Probably after 2-3 days, they're probably gonna be like 10 to 20,000 views instead of like market news or other box openings that'll be like 50,000 to 60,000 views. Because the interest in this type of conversation, in these type of collectibles, simply has dropped significantly. A lot of people, anyone who's been into this market for the last 3 years, post 2020, has lost probably between 10 and 60% of their money. Sometimes worse. I mean, we have MetaZoo products that are down 90% from their high. We've got some, we got some Flesh and Blood products like Monarch that are down 50, 60, 70% from their high. Then we've got other products in MetaZoo. We've got other products in Flesh and Blood. We got products in Pokemon. There are Flesh and Blood products that are still up 500%. There's some MetaZoo products that have held really steady. Seance and Native and things like that. And of course in Magic, it is no different. It doesn't matter if it's a new game, an old game. You can take anything out of context, but the market remains very rough for all CCGs. I can't sit here and paint you all a picture about, well, you need to buy just this and that. This is where all the tendies are. No. This is a bear market where all categories are impacted. Okay? So, in the world of Magic, vintage cards are not safe. I would say Alpha Drudge skeletons in the boom of 2021, these probably peaked to probably easily $100 plus per card. I mean, we're talking play damage, dog bite, Rudy with taco sauce on it was probably 30, 40, 50 bucks. The prices are probably down, even on this. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, well, my MetaZoo's down 90%. Well, Rudy, my Flesh and Blood's down 110%. Sir, you can't go below 100%. Well, I was leveraged. It's a meme. Sorry. I know. Just someone out there who did lose it. Sorry. These even alpha, 4 horsemen type things. These items in this video, just like new card games, just like other things, these cards are down between 10 and 60% also. The losses are not, you cannot hide from the losses in vintage Magic or in vintage Pokemon on many graded cards. Vintage sealed boxes of Pokemon, easily down 30 to 60% also. There's, the overall market has repriced everything. And it's not Pokemon's fault. It's not Magic's fault, even though they did things to amplify their own damage. It's not Flesh and Blood's fault. It's not, One Piece's fault. It's not Disney Lorcana's fault. It's not Flesh and Blood or MetaZoo or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Weiss's fault. And when everything moves together, that is the sign of an overall macro type movement. So I still believe items and cards like in this video remain special. These are the original Magic cards ever made. And I do believe there will be a time in the future when the market reflects and realizes that things like this are very special and most likely mispriced. We talked a lot about this kind of conversation in 2016 and in 2017. And then when Magic hit a bear market in 2018 with Iconic Masters, Masters 25, Hour of Devastation, on Kitty Cat, and Ixalan, the market really tanked on new Magic and all the money started to flow to vintage Magic. Because also the Pokemon XY era also was tanking like crazy. Stores were losing 50, 60% of their money. People were losing 50, 60% of their money trying to flip Pokemon. And new Magic products were all down 20, 30, 40% in the 2017, 2018 bear market of new product. So we saw a huge shift of capital going from new Magic, new Pokemon era items into vintage Magic products, creating the modern day first big reserve list buyout and boom of Magic the Gathering cards. Then, of course, things started to level out here and there and be very volatile in 2018 and 19. And then, of course, everybody thought the world was ending. In the beginning of 2020, a bunch of people sold out. And, to this day, I still have a lot of those videos I never even published because of it's just bad taste, because people were just selling thinking it was going to zero. And and some of the videos it's just awkward to watch at this time. And they're gone. That was 3-4 years ago. And I do think as we leave 2023 and we enter 2024, I don't expect much difference than we're seeing right now. I don't think these cards that I'm buying in this video and that you guys are looking on the screen, and yeah, I'm still here. Look, my hands are here. I'm moving the camera. I don't think the items you're looking at are going to go up in value this year. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I don't think these are going to go up next year. I think we are going to remain in a high interest rate environment for multiple years. Inflation is going to remain stubborn, and how do I say this? The distribution of resources in the United States is now so disproportionate and so bad, and the capitalistic structure of the haves and have-nots and the money and wealth from Wall Street and crypto and collectibles and real estate. Some people have made so much money in the last 5 years or 10 years, even as we undo and deleverage and reprice downwards, and we undo this 2021 boom, and we go back to 2019 pricing, it's still not really going to impact a lot of people like me, a lot of my patrons, a lot of you all listening. Yeah, sure, on paper, we have write-downs and losses because things aren't worth as much as they were in 2021. But now that we have all this data, I can also tell you all the prices that things were selling for in 2021 were not correct prices. They were being mispriced and overly bubbly bullish to the upside in, some of the Pokemon vintage boxes and the Logan Paul, Jake Pauls and the Pokemon stuff. All that stuff that happened was just, it created a short-term bubble. And those individuals, they may like Pokemon, but they don't care. It has nothing to do with it. How many conversations and videos in Pokemon are they doing now? They're gone. And like we talked about at the beginning of this video, a lot of those type of people are not coming back. And a lot of the people who were lured in because they were followers of those individuals who jumped into the CCG market have also left because, I don't know, like many short-term or goofy things or crypto projects and NFTs, all these things that happen, most of it's just collapsed. They're gone. I mean, I don't even know if NFTs are a thing anymore. Does anybody have them? Did anybody ever buy one? I don't even know how to buy an NFT. I don't even know how that I'm not smart enough to understand that. But I do know from seeing other videos and listening to patron messages that people who did get into NFTs and all these crazy projects of crypto, most of them are down 90 to 99%. Sure, I still own crypto-related things. And of course, I think 40% of my crypto holdings are, Bitcoin. Another 40% is Ethereum. And the last 20% is probably like, Cardano, Algorand, and Atom, and Tezos, and USD coin, USDC. And that's mostly because these are all the coins and tokens I've held. And from just, patrons buying things, I've just kept their tokens and moved it to a secure location that doesn't accept outgoing transfers, and it kind of locked it up and let it be. And that's kind of, where it is. And that's the only reason I have some of it. Most of it's just staked and getting yield, which is fine. And, I do believe the Bitcoin, Ethereum type, the big dogs are going to continue to be part of the future. I have no idea I don't know if Bitcoin's going to 0 or 1 billion. I don't really care. I can't think about stuff like that and stress out about stuff like that because there's no way to predict it. I'm not going to stress out and worry if I'm going to make or lose money on something that we have no control over. You just got to, if you think it's going to be something in the future, you got to leave it alone and see what happens. If you don't be a part of it. It's really as simple as that. Nobody knows. Okay? And the reason I talk about this is because, again, whether you want to understand and like or hate crypto or love it, the reason I bring this part of the conversation up is you all need to realize the Magic the Gathering in the collectible card world has a lot of overlay and direct correlation to crypto, okay? Cryptographic currencies, cryptography, and crypto. These things have a lot of similar movements to collectibles, okay? Friendly reminder, Mt. Gox, MTGOX, Magic the Gathering Online, one of the biggest collapses of crypto exchanges a long time ago. That was, Mt. Gox, which is a crypto exchange, was Magic the Gathering Online. Magic and old stuff and crypto go way back, and they have been connected for very, very long time, okay? Crypto bros, as these people call them. So that brings me back to these cards. There will be a time in the coming, I know you're not going to want to hear this, and I know it's going to make people unhappy, and I'm sure I'll get patron messages and comments from you all, but I don't think we experience a major bull market in the stock market, in the crypto market, in the collectible market. I hate to say it, it could be 5 to 10 years, not days, not weeks, not months. It could be a minimum. It could be years, folks. What we went through in 2020, 2021. I get messages all the time from you all, from patrons. Rudy, I'm excited. Rudy, I bought into your One Piece thing. Rudy, I'm excited about the sorcery thing you're doing. I'm excited about this, the flesh and blood thing, and the cold. It's been so much fun. I'm excited about the MetaZoo and the Hello Kitty stuff. I'm excited about this holiday Lord of the Rings special thing with magic. Look, I'm sure they're all going to do fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy it, especially if you enjoy it, but I'm telling you all, it's important to have proper expectations. All these things are coming up next 45 days. But if you don't have the capital, if you're going through some personal life events or job situations or living situations, you need to focus your time on that. We cannot truly enjoy collectibles and really appreciate and really hoard and collect and build positions unless you have a stable life with some of the important adult things taken care of. And that's just, it sucks because I know what you're thinking. Rudy, the S&P 500 will outperform your magic cards. Yeah. It probably will, and I hope it does, because if it does, that means the S&P 500 is going to be returning strong gains over a long period of time, which means that indirectly tells me the future is going to have a lot of economic growth and wealth creation and expansion, and that's what I want to hear, because when that happens, everybody wins. Well, you know what I mean. Not everybody. The working class tend to get crushed. It's awful, but it helps everything move forward. So I always hope the S&P 500 wins, because when that wins, I end up winning, which makes the videos and I talk about the news. And many of you all out there who collect and invest between your stocks, your 401ks, your mutuals, all your crypto, your real estate, your collectibles, the probability of more people winning increases when the S&P does well long term, which is why we should all want the same goal, which is what we do. So, and remember, if you just want the best performance over a 5 to 10 year period with the most manageable risk, your best course of action is always going to be the S&P 500. It's always going to be. I said 8 years ago on this channel, and I'm going to say it 8 years later in 2023. Whether it's 2016 when you guys first started hearing me ramble, or 2023, the fundamentals are the same. The reason we diversify into collectibles is because it makes us happy. And it also provides us a different avenue of long-term potential. There's never been a single moron in the collectible world, not even on my channel or anybody's channel, who's telling you that this is going to outperform the S&P 500. Sure, I know what you're going to say. People are going to send me, Rudy, I saw this article, the sealed Lego stuff you're doing. Also in your other video, sealed Legos outperform the S&P. I'm sure if you take any certain time period, I'm sure it has. Rudy, ABU Magic from 1993 to 2023, for those 30 years, Alpha Magic cards has outperformed the S&P. Okay, but there are examples where, the table flips like that. But I don't believe that's repeatable. And I don't think anyone should be having that mindset. The reason we do this is because it makes us happy and provides us an opportunity to actually have some growth and not lose all our money. If I soup up a used Toyota Supra and I soup up my Honda Civic, and overnight parts from Japan, not double clutching like I should, if I'm souping up cars, you rarely ever even break even. Usually it's a labor of love and you lose tens of thousands in your hobby. If you make model cars, if you collect certain things, you rarely ever even break even. The definition of a hobby is there's nowhere in that definition that states maintaining financial value or increasing financial value, okay? The definition of an investment is you're trading some sort of currency or some sort of, money into something with the anticipation that you will be able to sell that item in the future for a higher amount. Hence, you are investing those resources, hoping for a larger return into the future. In no way, shape, or form do people soup up their cars or race things or have fun expecting that they're going to turn a profit. Now, sometimes they do. Rare cars and the Supra goes up in value. You hold a rare vehicle, a brand new, S2000 Honda Prelude NSX Supra, a brand new RX-7 DeLorean. You can have all kinds of vehicles in mint condition with no miles. And guess what? 20, 30 years later, you're probably going to be able to flip it and make money. It does happen. but people usually don't expect that. It just happens, okay? And that's the perspective that we need to have with collectibles in 2023. Interest rates are high. Inflation is stubborn. The economy is very weak. The government is run by literally a bunch of Timmies stacked on each other. Democrats or Republicans, they're all Timmies. All of them. They all want to be your friend. They all want you to pick your side, and we got to hate everybody else in this world. That is the Timmy mindset of keeping people in the hamster wheel and keeping you literally short-sighted and rooting or yelling at the TV or whatever it is instead of seeing and thinking for yourself. Okay? Don't watch the news. Don't do that crap. Learn, research, watch college, university, and lectures and MIT and business school videos. Read about things, learn new things. I mean, all this stuff is for free on YouTube. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of 1, 2, 3 hour discussions and lectures that can teach you almost anything for free on YouTube. That's what you should be spending your time on. Every day, you should be learning, exploring, exposing your brain to new things, connecting new neurons in your brain by learning things. And that alone helps build you it gives you a higher probability of success, fulfillment, happiness into the future. Okay? And I think that's the more important thing. I buy these cards. I buy these collections because it makes me happy, and I believe they are mispriced, and there will be a different time in the future when the market will realize that an alpha Drudge skeleton shouldn't be 20, 30 bucks or something. Okay? That's what I see. It's the same thing with sealed products. And guess what? Hot take. 22 minutes into a video that's going to have very low views. No one cares about this stuff in 2023. I'll give you guys a real hot take. These Doctor Who sets, Lord of the Rings special edition coming up, these universes beyond, I'm not a big fan of them. You guys already know that. But, giant dump truck, banunkadunk, but just because I don't like them as much as an Alpha card or an Arabian Nights Rudy Bazaar Baghdad doesn't mean I don't believe they have potential long term. I wouldn't be keeping positions of Wilds Veldrain collector boxes, 500 of them a pallet. I wouldn't be keeping positions of March of the Machine collectors, Aftermath collectors, Baldur's Gate, whole pallet. I wouldn't be keeping some of these positions if I still didn't think there was something special long term. And I know, game piece era, nobody believes it. Magic 30, reprint it all. You know, we have a pretty high degree of certainty from some inside information that was me emailing myself in the bathroom. I have some pretty high degree confident information that may or may not be legitimate, and I may or may not be making it up on the spot now, that because of the disaster of Magic 30, they are not moving forward with plans to do other reprint style, pseudo breaking the reserve list, non-tournament legal. Any form of that direction has been scrapped. Now, they were planning on doing more of that kind of thing, but apparently they were so blown away with what happened, they were not going to do that again. And personally, I believe that. I think they were so caught off guard at what happened. They never in a million years thought the Magic 30 thing would go nuclear like it did. I don't think it happens again. And because of that, I think it actually makes me a little bit more bullish on some of the Magic things. In addition, with these universes beyond and these crossovers and IPs, it almost feels like Wizards has to be more cautious because they're using other people's and other companies' IPs and brands and images and logos. If they overdo it and those items collapse, it's going to make those brands look bad. And if those brands look bad, it's going to really damage and cause some relationship problems with their ability to do future universes beyond. Therefore, once again, the Warhammer 40K, Lord of the Rings collectors, Doctor Who, Lord of the Rings special holiday, which is going to be it's going to be a huge thing. I'm warning you guys in advance. These products are, they are kind of, I'm not a fan, but I respect and acknowledge that there is something special going on with these things. I am getting insane feedback from my own patrons who bought all the Doctor Who collectors and Commander from me. I have 0 Doctor Who Commander or collector boxes right now to even do a box opening video. And of course, conspiracy theorists, everyone, ooh, Rudy, you notice he doesn't do that? Well, there's certain sets I don't have the extra product, or I'm waiting for a small restock, or simply put, I can't get in the schedule. I mean, people make up crazy tinfoil hats over nothing. There's just times where we just can't get to it. But anyways, the feedback from the patrons who bought these from me have been off the chart positive. People love them. It was like the Lord of the Rings thing. The Warhammer 40K thing. I sold that Warhammer 40K like 4 times. They reprinted, we kept selling it. To this day, I don't have any. People simply love them. Have you actually opened a Commander deck of Doctor Who and actually given one to your friend, actually tried playing it? It's actually a really beautiful, fun experience. And I mean, these type of things, just because I'm not passionate about it, I am able to remove my emotion and say, okay, what does it mean from a straight business perspective? And it means that long term, there's still something there. Okay, we got Universes Beyond with Assassin's Creed, Fallout, and Final Fantasy coming, okay, in within the next 12 to 18 months. And I'll tell you right now, I've already received probably at least 100 patron messages, not including public messages, just asking about literally Final Fantasy, Fallout, Assassin. I get messages. I can tell. It's how I know Sorcery coming up in a few weeks is going to be off the chart success. I've received, oh my God, the last 2 months of patrons waiting for this thing to come to market. I've probably received, oh my God, it has to be 500 to 1,000 patron messages from, I would say, at least 500 minimum different patrons. Again, nowhere near representative of all the patrons that I have, but at least 500 patrons are begging and asking for Sorcery Beta. Okay? I only have 1,000 kits. There's only 1,000 of the nude exclusive Rudy naked promo card that we're working on trying to get all of them graded too for everybody, so everybody can experience PCG and everybody can see it, and we're really working on it. I just don't know if I can get them all graded in time. So to step back, what you see in front of you is alpha Drudge skeletons. These, in my opinion, go ahead. I haven't said it in a while, so you need to make fun of me. Everybody stop making fun of me. These are museum piece quality cards that represent historical angles. These are historical museum piece type cards that represent the beginning of an era from 1993 that literally changed the world and culture of cards. Whether you love or hate the card or me, we all know Magic and Alpha changed the direction of collectibles and trading cards for modern history. It is what it is, man. And that alone is enough for me to keep deploying money when nobody's buying. So once again, thanks for watching along Rudy Rambles video. Conclusion of this video, economy's rough. It's going to stay rough for a while. Crypto and magic are connected. Sorcery, this new Lord of the Rings, Universes Beyond, all this stuff, don't underestimate them. Just because Rudy's not a fan, I'm not passionate, doesn't mean there's not opportunity in these things. Magic's not dead. Hasbro's a bunch of morons, but the power of Magic is a very powerful thing. And again, the last few Magic sets, all these standard sets, March of the Machine, Wilds of Eldraine, let's see, Lord of the Rings, let's see here, I already said March of the Machine, Phyrexia, Kamigawa, what else am I missing? Phyrexia, Brothers War, well, that one dropped a little bit. I mean, these things have held up really well. And I know some people, well, Rudy, none of them have doubled my money, none of them have gone up. All these products are like a year old. You're not going to double your money and make all this free money because you bought a box of cards and within 6 months it didn't double. That is a side effect of the broken mentality and perspective of what happened in 2021. And what happened when you tell millions of people to stay home and hand out government checks and have poor government policy. And guess what? The people who really needed those checks, they needed it. But the other 90% of people didn't. And they dumped that money to the economy, caused inflation, and now the average working person has paid back those free tendies and those free checks you got. You've paid it back 20 times over in inflation and literally getting pinched on your cost of living. Oh, you've paid it back 20 times over, and you'll continue to pay it back. And that's what happens when Timmy's and all these idiot politicians on both sides, all these morons, well, they try to, no, I'm going to give you something free, vote for me. Well, I'm going to change it all and ban everything. Well, I'm going to do that. They're all idiots. They all have shady things. And guess what? I hate to break you guys' opinion. Most Democrats and Republicans in the U.S., behind closed doors, they're all friends with each other. They don't actually hate each other. They just paint a perspective so that we all hate each other. And that is what disappoints me. Because again, if you're 30 minutes in this video and you're still listening, you clearly find what I'm saying interesting. And that makes me happy, because whether you love or hate Rudy, if you can just learn from the videos and help you think, even if you hate what I'm doing, I'm trying to manipulate you and I'm banging your ex or whatever it is, at the end of the day, learn and understand that the world is complicated, and the more knowledge and the more perspectives you have from people you love and people you hate, it helps you be a better person and make better decisions. And even then, life is volatile, life is uncertain. Even I can't predict it. You know, I've been doing cardboard and I've been doing magic. I've been working with LGSs. I've owned an LGS. I've owned warehouses. I've been buying from distribution now for 12 years. And even I can't predict what's going to happen. So always remember that, folks. Thanks for listening. Hope you learned something. Life is an amazing, amazing, complicated, beautiful thing. Sometimes you need to just stop beating yourself up and stressed out all night, all morning, all day. Sometimes you got to clear your head. You got to go outside. I'm telling you, man, dig a hole, be a carrot, yell at the cars, lay on your driveway, lay on your roof, stare at the sky for 1 hour. And sometimes you got to appreciate what's out there, man, because the world's not ending. Even though there's a lot of stupidity in the world, it's still a beautiful thing. Have a great day.